who it is.
I'm here in
She's
Bergen.
here.
Yes.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, I'm here in Bergen, and yeah, we had a plan to get some other microphone setup for this one, so it might be a bit worse the audio from the last episode, but we're working on it. So next time we meet up in person, it's gonna be better. Yeah,
yes,
that's the plan. But
that's the plan.
We're still working on it. Yeah,
we're working with what we have.
Yeah. And we're also working.
And we're also working.
A lot, yeah.
Yes.
So, so it's also a bit of a struggle sometimes to find the time. Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. So how it's like being back in Bergen? What's it like?
It is kind of nice. I think it's definitely more spring here, firstly.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, like I saw from the video that you did when you were cycling to your ceramics class.
Yeah.
It was still snow.
Yes.
I'm like, what? There's still snow over there?
I was biking there last week. Or no, this week. Kind of last week. Yeah. And it was like the first time that all the lakes on the way were not iced over.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, I've been biking there many times now, I think 4 weeks in a row, and it's just been like snow and ice, and then a little bit less, and this time it was like completely melted. It was very nice. I felt like
because in Bergen now it's flowers everywhere.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the cherry blossoms in Sandviken, and those are beautiful.
And also I guess around like Lungårdsvannet.
Yeah, you usually think about Sandviken because that's like this old part of the city. It's really cozy with the old wooden buildings now. It's just like, oh, it's so cozy with the flowers.
It's beautiful. It's actually the most beautiful time of the year in Bergen, I think, when the cherry blossoms come. It's beautiful.
It's like always what I say to people when I say like what time of year to visit Bergen is always May, because you get the Constitution Day on 17th of May, which is kind of fun because then like everyone dresses up in their national wear. What's it called?
Bunad.
Yeah, but like what is the national dress?
I think because it's just a Norwegian thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but like the bunad, which is like a wool dress.
Yes, it's actually kind of weird.
It's and usually
so warm.
Usually on 17th of May, it's so warm out.
Yeah.
That you sweat the whole day. It's awful. It's so warm, but it's kind of scary to think about because I talked to some tourists about it yesterday. That these dresses were probably like back in the day on 17th of May, it was probably colder. So now because of global warming, it's getting warmer.
Yeah,
and that's why our bunad is too warm now.
Yeah, that's true.
When it is our like 17th of May, our celebration day.
Yeah, that's scary.
I know.
Sometimes it does snow though. In Eastern Norway, 17th of May, there's suddenly snow. So then I'm always really happy that I'm wearing that one.
But it is such a beautiful outfit though.
Like you have a real one?
Yeah, I do. And the funny thing is, like, it's been passed down 4 generations.
Nice.
In my family. So 4 like generations of women has worn this dress. And it's so old and it doesn't really fit me.
Yes.
Because like
that's the classic.
My family has a lot of busty ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of them.
I'm the other way around.
Yeah.
Mine is also passed down through generations, and they seem to have been less busty than me.
We have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
You need to wear mine and I need to wear yours. Yes. But the fun thing about bunads too is that they are very unique from where you are from in Norway. So every like city has different kinds of bunads.
Yes.
Different dresses. It's so beautiful. You should look it up.
Do you have the Bergen area?
I don't, because my family is from Ørsta.
Okay, where is that?
So that's a little bit north.
Okay.
And it's inland. So it's like this tiny city, like this tiny village, really, just among wild mountains.
But is that in West Coast or East?
West.
West. Okay.
I think it's Sogn og Fjordane.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So that's where my name, like my last name, is from.
Nice. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learning so much new things.
There's a place called Bjørdal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my last name is not.
It's not a place?
I think it's a lot of places.
Yeah.
Because it's Dal.
It's Dal.
Yeah. So many places.
Dals everywhere.
Yeah. But it's my bunad is actually from Nordland, so it's a bit strange. I don't know. I think there's like a part of my family that's from there, but since it's way back, it's almost like I don't even know. And I inherited my bunad from my grandmother, and it was like around the same time as she got cancer, so it was like almost like a bit of a fast thing. Like she was just like, here's this bunad, you should have this. And I didn't really think so much about it that time. I was kind of young, and it's like now I'm like, I don't even know like specifically where it's from. I just know that it's from the family, and yeah, that it's made during the Second World War.
Oh, wow.
And like the inside of it is made from like a Norwegian flag, because you couldn't hang the flag.
Oh my god, so you would wear it instead?
Yeah, so you would use the fabric for the dress.
So cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh,
I like that.
Gosh.
It's cool, but it's also like, I think actually I'm gonna go to a bunad store and just ask where it's from, and just get some more information.
You just show some pictures. And
because I don't really know if there's other people in my family that know so much about it.
It's a mystery dress.
It's a mystery dress.
Oh,
yeah.
we should add some photos of our dresses. Yeah,
I'll pop that up. Yes, because otherwise I'm pretty sure people are gonna be like, woolen.
What are you talking
about? Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, May is a beautiful town, and like time to be in Bergen. I feel like
there's been quite a lot of tourists too, it seems.
Yes.
More than usual, or?
Well, May is usually like ramping up. So I notice that there's a lot more people in general in May. Yeah. But I don't think there's more than usual, more than the last couple of years.
Yeah,
naturally.
of course.
Like if I compare it to 2019, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's good. It's really good.
It's nice.
And the people who watch your channel stop by.
Again.
Yes. Now it's been five
crazy.
People, five different people and couples that stopped by and said like, oh, I saw you in your friend's video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I just get so excited. I'm just like,
That's so nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun.
It really is.
And they're so sweet.
It really is. They are really nice people.
Yeah, they are.
I'm glad that they are nice in real life too.
Yeah.
I believe that you all are really nice people, but at the same time, I've never met you, so
now we have the proof.
Now we have the proof.
Five people.
Yeah. we'll stick to that. Yeah. It's fine. 5 out of 16,000.
Yeah.
It's good. That's proof enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah.
And yesterday we went bouldering.
Yes. So Anna has been like kind of teaching me how to boulder. I feel like, because you're really into that. You've been doing it for many years.
Yeah. Oh, we're 1.5 now.
Okay.
So not that long.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been crazy about it like
for a long time.
For that time, yeah.
Yeah, and so we went bouldering last time I was here when I was touring, because I wanted to do some sort of exercise, and it's been really fun. So I've kept doing it. So we went.
And you've gotten so much better.
Thank you.
It's so fun to see like how fast you learn. And just like the hip movements and it's just so cool.
It's because you're a good teacher.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It is really fun.
Yeah.
I think the fun thing about it is that that's kind of what we talked about, that you see your progression so visibly, kind of. Because when sometimes I go to just like lift weights and stuff in a gym in the town where I live, and I love to do that. I really love to get strong. I really love generally getting stronger.
Same.
It's just a good motivation for me. But I feel like sometimes with lifting weights, it can be so long before you see any progression, because it's almost like it takes a lot to get from one weight to the other, and just like put on more weight sometimes can take a lot of time.
It's repetition.
Exactly.
It kind of gets like the same all the time as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess sometimes if you're a bit lazy that day, you just don't really feel like maxing it. So you don't always max it. But I feel like with bouldering, you kind of always want to do your best, because you really want to reach that end of the route. Yeah. So I feel like you're always like trying your absolute max.
I want to get there.
And I guess that's why you get so much stronger, so much faster in a way.
Because you push yourself every time.
Yeah, and it can be like I go to the bouldering room in the town where I live just on a Friday, and then the next Friday I come back, and suddenly all of the routes that I did before are easy.
Yeah.
And I haven't done anything in between.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like a bit of magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that you have this progression.
Right? You feel it, and you get such a confidence boost when you reach the top.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
you get
the endorphins.
high, like, I did it.
It's so fun.
And because it's very like puzzle kind of thing, like puzzle training. So you need to remember every move. You need to figure out, oh, does this work? Does this work? You need to twist different ways. You need to like try different things to see if that makes it easier for you.
And it's also mental, because you really need to force yourself to be brave sometimes and just like reach for that next one. Yeah. Like I did yesterday, and I fell.
Yeah, but then like falling is also a part of it, because then you learn, okay, it's not that scary to fall. You don't die. It hurts a little bit. It's not fun to fall, but still you survive it. And it's so cool that you just went right back to the wall. It's just like, no, I don't want to be scared to fall again. So I'm just gonna try again. Learn
that from riding horses.
Yeah.
Should never just be on the ground after falling off a horse. You always need to get back on the horse.
That's the thing that I needed to do, and I need still to do with pole fitness as well. Because for a while I just kept falling on my face.
Yeah.
And now I've talked to like another girl that I train with, she's been doing it for years. And she told me like, yeah, I fell on my face a lot when I was doing this trick. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the same trick that I fell on my face on.
Oh, really?
And she was like, yeah, but you survive and you try again. And I'm like, okay.
Interesting. But you thought it was because you were not very concentrated, but maybe it's also the trick itself that it is
a very risky trick. Yeah. Because you're hanging from your hands on the back of your back, like back, and then you are face down. So you're just like it's nothing. You can't, if you let go and try to brace yourself, then you let go and you fall. Yeah. So you just have to trust your hands, because your hands are the only thing holding you up. But your face is still like you are looking at the ground.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
It really is.
Really terrifying.
Yeah. It's not my favorite. It's called the iguana.
Yeah.
You can look it up if you want to, but it's terrifying. Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah. I'm trying to be. I'm using the crash pad a lot more now lately, just to like keep myself safe.
Yeah. I think I don't know, sometimes it's good to be a bit scared as well. It's some of the things that we talked about yesterday as well, like maybe if you hook your foot under that one, then you can get up there, but then you might fall and you will hang from your foot in the wall then twist or just fall on your face. And I think sometimes it's like, okay, so maybe that would have been very brave to do that and just go for it, but sometimes it's also good to be careful, you know?
Is the risk worth it?
Yeah, so with the pole dancing that you get scared after falling, I think it's also like just
take my time.
Yeah, it's kind of in a sense a bit good as well, because I guess you need to be a bit scared of some things to learn how to do them in a safer way.
Yeah, that's also what I'm trying to focus on now. Is like I'm trying to do things very right, very like correct. Doing it the right way makes me more confident that I'll be able to do it, instead of just like rushing to do it. Yeah. So now I'm doing everything very slowly, very controlled, instead of just like like I would do before. Like I just wanted to get the trick done. I just wanted to get there and be finished with it. And now it's like, okay, I need to just move slowly. Yeah. And it's terrifying still, but it feels more controlled.
Yeah, because we're kind of brave people.
Yeah, we are.
I feel like we can say that. Yeah.
Cheers for that.
Cheers. Yeah, but we have a topic for today.
Yes, and it is creative labels. So I think creative labels are such a interesting thing, because I realized when I was writing down these questions, I feel like creative labels are like job titles for freelancers. Like, you're a police officer, okay, well, I'm a content creator.
Yeah. And it's not a protected title in any way, the same way that a police officer title is. Yeah. So you don't have to have the education to be it.
No. You decided yourself, but still, it is like a title.
It is.
It is the job you chose for yourself in a way. So the first question. Yeah. Are you ready, Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah? what would you say is your creative label?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
But that's, I mean, we need to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know, like, so when you say creative label, you mean like what is the thing that I call myself? Is
Yeah,
if people ask what I'm working with.
What is your job?
Yeah, what is
kind
my
of.
job title? Yeah, so it changes depending on the person I'm talking to, and sometimes I try to avoid the topic altogether.
I know. That's why I want to talk about it, because I think it is very fascinating for both of us.
Yeah.
That, like, what our labels mean for other people.
Yeah.
But also especially, like, specifically for you, because YouTube has its stereotypes and its
so much
negative connotations.
Yeah, and you have so many, like, for example, I feel like content creator, I was thinking about it on the train ride here, because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, content creator feels nice, but at the same time, in Norwegian, saying innholdsskaper is just like really weird. That's and true. So many people don't know what that is. And then you have to explain. And then people are like, oh yeah, so it's an influencer. And I'm like, yeah. But it's not really the same. I feel like I can own being an influencer as well. If people want to call me an influencer, that's fine. But I feel like influencer also entails that you sell products and do commercials more for other people. But I don't really do that so much. And also I feel like maybe sometimes influencing is not necessarily creating these long content type of things, but that's just what I'm like, because that's just, some people want to call themselves influencers and some want to call them YouTubers, and it's not really any rules for it, but just what I'm thinking, I feel like it's more like on Instagram maybe, and more like short form content, and also usually they live from doing commercials for other companies, sponsored content. Yeah. And I can do that maybe one day as well. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like content creator feels a bit more good. But at the same time, I feel like content creator is such an empty title. Just content. Like, you're just making content. Like, it sounds so empty. Like, I'm just making whatever content, you know? It sounds like it doesn't really tell anything about the creative process or what you're actually making. And there's just no art in that. There's just no creativity in the title. I feel like content is just innholdsskaper. It's just innhold. It sounds just like mass. You're just filling the world with some content. You know,
mass produced in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like empty. You are more like a storyteller.
Yeah.
But how do you integrate that into being a content creator? Because you don't like the term YouTuber either, do you?
I use that one the most.
Yeah?
Actually.
So that's actually your creative label in a way?
Yeah, I'm trying to lean into it because I need some type of label, and that feels the best just because it's more specific. Yeah. I used to say that I often say that I make videos.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You make videos online?
No, I don't say that either.
Yeah?
It's just, I'm saying, I make videos. People are like...
What kind?
Yeah, and then I'm like, now I have to explain.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to be a bit more like, I'm a YouTuber. And sometimes if people ask if I'm a YouTuber, I'm just like, yes,
I am. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
You could say like, I'm a videographer.
Yeah, but
I know that
so serious.
Like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Sounds like I've taken an education, and I don't want to pretend like I've taken an education. When people ask, okay, so what kind of videos do you make? And then you say you make them for YouTube. People are like, okay,
so you're a YouTuber.
So you're not a videographer then. It's like,
I know what you mean.
It's so complicated.
Yeah. YouTuber is a good like umbrella term though, because it is more vague.
I don't know.
It can be like both.
Yeah.
Very serious videos. It can be like prank videos. it can be everything. Yes. When you say you're a YouTuber, you could be anything, in a way. So it's kind of like saying artist.
Yeah.
Because it is such a broad term. So being like a YouTuber, yes, it's good. Like it's easy because then you can specify what you're actually doing if they ask, in a way.
And also, I guess I avoid the whole awkwardness of saying first that I make videos, and then they are like, "What videos?" And I have to say that I make them for YouTube, and then people are like, "Oh,
you're
so
one of those people."
Yeah, so it's way better to just say YouTuber, and then people have to deal with whatever feelings they have around that.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like people think that YouTubers are only those talking head videos that we used to make and that people used to make in the beginning of YouTube was mostly like just a face and talking. And people do that, and I do that too. But I mean, and I love talking head videos, so no offense to those. But it's just some people think that that's all it is.
All it is, yeah.
And I do so much other stuff than that, so yeah. But I feel like I say YouTuber, and then I try to explain what kind of videos I make, and that it's about storytelling, I guess. Maybe I should just say storyteller.
A visual storyteller.
Visual storyteller. Ooh. Yeah, maybe. It's cool.
Yeah.
It sounds cooler. What about you? What's your creative label?
Yeah.
Because you have the same problem.
Yeah, I do, because
yeah.
I talked with my partner about this morning, actually, because artist is a very broad term, and I feel like in Norwegian, when you say artist, you visualize someone that does like abstract paintings in the nude, in the moonlight, high on acid, in a way.
Yes.
Right? Because then you're an artist.
Yeah.
You're fancy. It's kind of like that, very like, oh, you're sophisticated, or just messed up also. Like there's a lot of things that come with the term artist, but it is also a very broad term, so you can be whatever. It's kind of like the same with YouTuber, that you get an image when you say I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, you get an image in your head instantly, and that doesn't fit you. And artist, in the image I get in my head, it doesn't fit me.
Yeah.
So, and
interesting.
And the way that I paint, it's not the kind of fine art type art. It is illustrations. So I could also say like, I'm an illustrator.
Yeah.
But that also kind of entails that you work for someone, that you illustrate something for someone.
Interesting.
So that's like you either work for a publishing company, you do like illustrations for someone bring you ideas and you paint them. But in my case, I just illustrate for myself.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, if you flip the whole thing, artists also from like back in the day used to be people that painted things for people.
Yeah, true.
That
on
did commissions.
Yeah.
So it's tricky because it's like suddenly that's the liberal thing, and the illustrator is like the making things for others.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be like that.
No, absolutely not. But usually it is.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot more at home in the label illustrator than I do an artist. So what I do, like in my bio on Instagram, I think it is illustrator and artist.
Yeah.
I'm both. But still, I feel like artist is the umbrella term for a lot of things. Like artist, you can be a sculptor, you can be like a videographer.
Even.
You can be an illustrator, you can like performance art, you're still an artist.
Yeah.
So that's like the umbrella term. But illustrator is still very hard to like settle down with, I feel like, because it feels so like professional. It is like I was like.
Do you feel like it's more scary? So you feel like it's more scary to call yourself an illustrator than an artist?
It feels more clean cut.
Yeah.
In a way.
I think so too.
Yeah. It feels more like you are working in an office.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that. It's just like my feeling around it.
Yeah, everything we're saying today is not because we're not judging like other people that work with these things, and we're not saying that everyone is doing these things. It's just what like the image you get in your head from the word, basically. But we know that it's not like that in the real world.
But actually, when you said visual storyteller, something in me just like, that's what I am.
Oh, we're both visual storytellers.
I'm a visual storyteller too.
Awesome.
Yeah, just like, that's it. Because what I value the most about my art and the art process is that I love telling stories. I love finding some kind of angle where you're wondering like, what happened here? What is going to happen next? it is that kind of like frozen in a moment in a story kind of thing.
It really is.
So I think I am a visual storyteller.
Nice. This podcast is so good. We're learning so many things. But that's really true. I really feel like that's a very important thing with your paintings and drawings, that it's like...
Finding the twist is always the most fun part for me. When
Yeah.
I'm like trying to figure out an idea. It's like I need to find the twist, the thing that makes people like wonder what's happening here.
Yeah, what's the story behind it?
Why is there a whale flying behind a lighthouse?
Yeah, and there's always this feeling like there's a story there.
Mm.
And you really start to imagine that story yourself in a way. Like even some of those that are over there that are more like calm, just a girl sitting in the window when it's like raining outside. Still, like you feel this, there's a story to this. Like, why is she sitting there? What she's doing?
Who is she?
Who is she? Yeah, exactly. I feel like that when I try to explain to people what type of art you make as well, that it's like, yeah, it's kind of illustration, but I feel like it's art, but more almost like it's inspired by cartoons in a way, or like this where there is always a story as well. I think it has to do with the storytelling too.
I feel like that is what makes me want to create too, is that storytelling aspect. And like, I need to find a new angle, a new story to tell in a way. So that was really cool. I felt like,
I think that's really what you should start telling.
Yeah.
You should write that. You should write that on your Instagram today.
We're both just gonna update our bios like visual storyteller.
You should check us out on Instagram when you hear this episode and see if the label,
see if we did it.
If the label is still there. That's so true. But have you had anyone be like skeptical when you have said that you are an artist? Have you had like reactions to that at all?
No. Well, I think that's the thing. If you're brave enough to say that you're an artist, people kind of say that, oh, you are? It's kind of like that, oh, wow. Because I feel like it's such a powerful word. Like, it takes a long time until you're comfortable saying you're an artist, I feel like. Because you need to prove yourself in a way. I feel like a lot of people are scared to call themselves an artist before they've like had a gallery exhibition or like sold their artworks or anything like that. You feel like you have to prove yourself to earn the title as artist.
Yeah, since there's not necessarily a protected title there. I guess there's like this road you have to go before you can do it. It's strange. Bendik said that too. He started calling himself an artist a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
I feel like now he's kind of comfortable with it. I think sometimes you just have to start and then people will accept it after a while, because with art, I guess also so many things can be art. And
you're making art?
Yeah, I struggle with that too.
Yeah, but you are.
Yeah, kind of. It's artistic, I guess. But I'm struggling with like saying that I'm an artist. Yeah, I feel like it's complicated.
It is. It is hard to find.
I can't remember all my arguments for it right now, but I have some.
Yeah. We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to it.
So the next question.
Yeah.
We sort of touched on it, but do you feel boxed in by your label?
Yeah.
Like if you settle on a label, then it feels like, oh, this is all I can do now.
I don't really feel boxed in like in the sense that I have to do that thing, but it's just when I tell people what I do and they have this image in their head of what it is, I feel a bit boxed in. Yeah. And I am around so many artists in my day-to-day. Like so many people that are like artists. And to say also about that, like artists in general, I feel like there are so many different ones. So there are so many different ones, but I definitely am around a lot of people that really confidently say that they are artists. And it is sometimes this feeling like I feel like I'm one of them. But at the same time, I'm not really one of them. And I sometimes feel like since I've been around that also ever since I was a child, and my parents also had a lot of friends that were artists and writers, and it's always been part of my life. I always felt like I was part of that, but at the same time, I haven't really found the thing that I do that makes me an artist. Even though I'm working with so many creative things, I can still never really say that I'm an artist and be just like part of that group. It's kind of strange sometimes.
Do you feel like you are the one holding yourself from being a part of that group? Or is
maybe.
it the group that is saying, no, you're not a part of this group?
I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm not sure. I think maybe a bit of both. Yeah. Because I think there is since it's also not a protected title to be an artist, I feel like artists can be a bit protective of it in a sense. Like, this is what art is, this is not art. And I understand that because there's actually a lot of like really like very like hobbyist type of people that do this little fun thing with something artistic or creative, and then they start calling themselves an artist, and it can sometimes damage the people that actually work with this as a serious profession. So I understand also that sometimes the artist people that work with this full time have a little bit of a protectiveness around the label, because there are a lot of people calling themselves artists out there, and we can discuss if that's fine or not fine. But I understand that there becomes this little thing where it's like this but not this, you know, because otherwise everything could be art, and then the profession wouldn't have been anything.
I'm kind of in the camp that everyone can call themselves an artist if they want to, but I understand also, like, if you worked so hard for so many years to earn the title artist and make a living of it,
to make quality, it's also like about quality, you know.
But still, like, everyone starts somewhere.
That's
we
true.
all start in the bottom. So it's kind of like, if you aspire to become an artist, you kind of are an artist. And I feel like you should call yourself what you want to become as well.
That's true.
If you want to become an artist, start calling yourself an artist, and it will happen. Because then you're taking it seriously. And it's same, like, if you want to become a writer, even though you haven't written a book, then, like, that is what you want to become. Call yourself that.
Yeah, it will come. That's true. But there is a lot of people that don't want to become artists. That just do it like for fun thing.
And then call themselves artists.
It's tricky. I feel like I'm a bit mean when I'm saying this, because I also feel like everyone should be able to own this title and have fun with it. But at the same time, there is also some people that they don't really want to become an artist. They are not very serious about it. They just have this like beautiful image of what this is gonna become. And I don't know. I feel like there should be some sort of quality to the thing that people do for them to call themselves an artist. But then again, quality and the judgment of quality is so individual. So it's tricky.
It's really tricky.
And I feel like with maybe what I do and what you do as well, there would be very different opinions. You know, like some people would say it's art, some people would say it's not art. Depends on who you ask. And that's also, I guess, why it's tricky for us, because it's not so easy to just say it and then you will not know. Maybe the person that you're talking to is like, no, that's not art. The other person will be, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's high art.
Yeah, so it's tricky. But I think there should be a sort of quality there to things. Something, I don't know, something that elevates it a bit from just a hobby drawing thing that you did once. Yeah. I don't know. We all draw. We all drew at some time. At some point.
All kids are artists.
All kids are. Yeah, it becomes the thing, you know. Like we all drew at some point, and should we all call ourselves artists just because we made one drawing? I'm not sure. I just feel like there should be some sort of like you have to earn it a little bit. Yeah. But anyways.
Next question. What negative connotations do you feel that come with your label? So we sort of touched on this. But
yeah. I can say it more like straightforward that people think that YouTubers and influencers are very... Hva overfladisk?
Shallow.
Shallow. Yeah, so that's the answer.
Materialistic.
Yeah,
in a
so
way.
yeah, materialistic, shallow. Yeah.
High on themselves in a way.
Yeah.
A little bit like self-focused.
Self-absorbed. Yes, for sure. So there are a lot of negative ones. And the problem I have with them is also that it's not just the job itself. It's not like people are negative about your job. It's more like they are negative about you. Like when you say you are a YouTuber, it means you are shallow, you are like self-absorbed, and it's like tricky because it really has to do with your personality, the image they have in their head, and not just what you're working with.
Wow, yeah.
They don't separate it, you know. It's like, oh, you,
you personally.
Yeah, and that's that's why I'm trying to say that I'm a YouTuber and just like stand firmly.
Just own it, because you know you're not. You know you're not any of those things. So it is that kind of. I think the bad examples that are out there sort of overshadow all the good things, or the like, because there's so many like teaching videos on YouTube, like things you can learn from, all those kind of like tutorials on things. There's so much more than just like the vlogger, like the typical vloggers.
Yes. Yeah, and also even if you make vlogs, it might still give value to people in a different way than people imagine. And I just feel like for many people it's just a bit strange and new, and yeah, they just don't really get it. But I also started sometimes to tell people that I know. This feels really bad when I do it, because we have this thing that's called janteloven, you know, in Norway, where it's like you shouldn't try to tell anyone that you're anything. Constantly knocking this over today. But I've started sometimes to tell people I know when I get a comment where people say like, this really lifted my day,
this
like
made
this,
my day.
this I felt really depressed today and now I feel so much better. Thank you so much. When people write something like that, sometimes when I get a comment like that and I have someone over or something, I actually just show them the comment. And it feels so embarrassing because I really don't want to like brag or anything, but it's more like I want to show people that this actually means something to someone, even though it might not have meant anything to them. Like even though this friend or family member thinks this vlog is really meaningless, then I know that there are other people that find it meaningful, and I try sometimes to just show that a little bit here and there, just so people understand why I'm doing
impact,
it. Yeah, right? That is not just because I want to showcase like my life and me. It's also because I see that it has an impact on people. Yeah, so I'm trying to do that to avoid the whole shallow, self-absorbed thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you are making a difference, I think. Like I really believe that, because
in a sense, I guess.
You are sharing parts of your life that you give such a nice atmosphere, like a very like calming and natural kind of like look into your life. And also you like all your knowledge on plants. It is like,
that's useful for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's more tricky with the vlogs, you know, to find why it's useful. But the comments are the things that make me feel like they are.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Absolutely.
What is it for you though? What's like the negative things?
Well, I touched on that too. Like, artist has that kind of negative connotation that you are kind of a mess, or you are very emotional, very like.
Are you not emotional though?
Oh, I am. I am a sensitive mess.
Yeah.
But it is that kind of thing too, that like artists has that kind of rock and roll kind of image, that you're like you're taking a lot of drugs. You're very, very like kind of like spiritual, a little bit not grounded.
Yeah.
In a way. Very eccentric.
Yeah, spiritual in that very not grounded way.
Intense way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm starting to become more grounded, I feel like. I am more like a calm person.
Yeah.
I am quirky. I am a little bit weird, but it's still not the same way that like most artists are represented, in that kind of like whoa, crazy kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
And I think also some of the negative connotations that I struggle with is that people don't think you make money.
Yeah.
That you're poor.
Yeah, and they don't think you're professional in that sense.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so you're going to do this for a while, and then what are you going to do?
And then they're always like, yeah, but how are you going to make money from that?
Yeah. What do you do on the side?
Oh my God.
What's your side job?
The number of people I know that have asked my friends that is just like endless.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So how are you going to make money from that then? And like, is that a real job?
Yeah, but a lot of people ask me like, is this all that you do? Is this like, is this your job? And I'm like, well, yeah, I have an art shop. How am I supposed to do something else on the side? And it sort of feels like, oh, you don't believe this is enough in a way. Like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And
but I get that people ask though, like,
yeah.
how are
I
you
don't
gonna
blame
make
them.
money? But it's usually the ones that ask in this very like. Some people ask in the way that they don't really think you're gonna have an answer.
Yeah.
They think you're gonna say like, no, it's very hard. So
yeah.
It's like, but if they just ask because you're curious, like, yeah,
That's
how
fine.
do you make money?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I am
yeah.
asking you that on the podcast, but it feels
Yeah.
like when it's this like, oh, are you really making
Yeah.
any money? You know?
Yeah. And I completely understand why people ask,
Yeah.
because a lot of people think that being an artist nowadays is not, you're not able to live off of it.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to like get to the point where you can actually live a comfortable life selling your art.
And it is.
And it is.
in
It
a
is
sense.
really hard.
Yeah.
But I completely understand why people ask, but it is the way they ask, and it is that kind of like expectation that I'm gonna say no, it's hard. It's
Yeah. And then you're gonna say, yeah, I'm super poor.
yeah. Some other negative connotations. I mean, it's just that kind of like stereotypical artist rendition of who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Also,
at least you're not shallow though. Like,
yeah.
I would rather be spiritual.
But you can't seem a little bit full of yourself too, though, right?
Yeah,
if you say that,
true.
oh, I make art, darling. I'm an artist. Who are
artistic.
you? It is that kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that's true.
I think like being full of yourself is kind of a little bit of an artist trait.
Yeah, but I guess we are, in a sense. I think like a little bit, you have to be.
You have to believe in yourself at least. If you have to, if you're going to choose a career that's not, it's not certain, it's not safe at all.
It's not a normal thing. Yeah.
It's very outside of the norm. So
yeah, you have to believe in yourself and believe that you
have something to offer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes people that they also don't believe that you can be professionally working with a thing? Because I feel like sometimes that's also a thing, that people don't view artists as like professional workers. That it's also why people don't really pay artists that well often, because they just think that it's not a real profession and they're not really working and just chilling with your painting.
I think it is that. I think there is this expectation that you're not an artist unless you have exhibitions all the time as well.
Yeah,
but
that's
it is
too.
like it feels like you have to do some things to be looked at as a professional. You have to do those kind of typical artist things. Yeah,
but I think honestly, like, because I have a lot of friends who do exhibitions, who do it more like the normal way. The normal way. There's no normal way. But I mean, like, they do those things that you're talking about, and they have the same problem. Like, people still don't view them as professional. I honestly think it never ends.
Yeah. But you have to get to a certain point of fame, I think, for an artist.
Exactly.
And also, probably in your field as well.
Yeah.
That you have to reach that kind of... people know who you are, and they hire you for it, or you get something from it that is very apparent that, oh, you've reached this level. Yeah, in a way. Like,
I think so. For most people to view you as a real professional, you have to get a certain level of fame. Yeah, you have to be a known name, like Quentin Blake. Like, everyone knows Quentin Blake. I don't. Oh, he's the guy that draws Roald Dahl. You know, those like silly drawings that looks a little bit like sketch. Yeah, like, he's a very, very known name. Yeah, and he is like he's amazing. But he's like, okay, he's reached that level. Yeah. And also in Norway, we have these scholarships, or like stipend. It's like, yeah, it's not scholarships, but is it called stipends? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's like you get funded. Yeah, so you can apply for this artist funding, and it's a very limited amount of people who get that. But if you get that,
then you're kind of like, oh,
that's definitely this feeling of recognition, because it's like, yeah, it's really, really every artist almost in the country applies for those. And I feel like, yeah, that's also for, I feel like a lot of my friends and a lot of people I've talked to, it's also important. Like if you don't get that,
it's a grant.
It's a grant. Thank you. If you don't get the artist grant, you sometimes really feel like you're not recognized.
I've never applied for a grant.
No, and I think that's also the thing with you, that you do it a completely different way. You're not applying for any money to do like a project that's gonna last for a year. You're doing this, you're painting these things, you're really like productive, and you're creating things that you can sell. While some other people I know, they are not necessarily creating things that they can sell to a lot of people. Maybe they can sell it to one person, one very specific person, or they do commissions. But and then you apply for these grants because you have like a lot of time to work on your projects because you have the grant. But it's like, if you don't get it, it's just always this blow, this really hard thing, because
you kind of win. You kind of win when you get it. It's like, oh, I won this.
Yeah, but it's also just because it's a recognized thing. If you have that on your CV and you are on the list for those grants, then people really recognize you as a professional artist, one that is really to be like taken seriously. And sometimes if you don't have any of those grants, you're not taken seriously. Also when you're applying for things, and so it's a long thing, but it's not always like that. Just again, not always, just sometimes, just most of the time, I guess. But it's also a problem, I feel like, because it becomes this thing that the people that sit there and review all of these grants, they suddenly have the power to create who's like the
next big thing.
Yeah, and who's the real artist and who's the not real artist. It's like, it's really,
sounds like a hard job.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And also, yeah, it's weird who they choose sometimes. So, yeah.
So the last question. Do you feel like creative labels can be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to the thing that I said, where it's like, I understand that we need some of these labels too, because otherwise...
What can you call yourself? If you're just like
everything
and nothing, then...
Yeah, then you really feel like you don't have a job.
Yeah.
It is easier to have some sort of label.
It helps to have something to call yourself. And also, like, going back to that too, that if you call yourself like a character design artist, a character designer, even though you haven't done character design work, if you call yourself that, that is what people is going to know you for, and then the jobs will come.
True.
So just calling yourself what you want to work as, that kind of helps you just to get to the place where you want to be.
I like this. This is a good tip, I think, too. Because if you're in between labels, maybe
you should settle on something.
Yeah, choose the one that is what you want to work as.
So if you want to be a children's book illustrator, call yourself that.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to get then. And if you call yourself that, like, professionally on your portfolio, on your website, when people Google, like, children's book illustrators, you will pop up. And then you can actually find people that want to hire you.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I think, for me, calling myself a videographer was one of those things where it became this thing where people wanted me to make videos for them. Maybe that's also why I've transitioned over to YouTuber, because I don't really want to do so many commissioned videos.
Yeah.
And when you call yourself like a video maker, that's usually what people will think you do. And so I think that was maybe what happened.
So those people probably would be called videographers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not that.
Yeah,
I don't want to be that
yourself,
either. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why it's better to just go for the thing that is the closest to what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that if you call yourself an artist then instead of an illustrator, then that is more what you're doing right now?
I'm actually not sure, because, like I said, artist is such a vague term because it can mean so much. And I think I'm closer to illustrator because of the, like, people say when they come into the shop that this could be in a children's book. This could be in a book, right? So this is like it is illustrated storytelling. So I think I am closer to illustrator, but calling myself an illustrator, then maybe I would get commissioned to do books. And right now, I'm not interested in that.
No, exactly. Because that was what I was thinking. If you're
Yeah.
more on the illustrator side, then people are like, can you do these books?
But we figured out I'm a visual storyteller.
Yeah.
People won't hire me then.
Great.
Yeah, cool. No, but like visual storyteller, I feel like it fits very well. But like if I had to choose one of the official terms for artists, then illustrator. I think I would be an illustrator. Yeah. I keep just looking at my art, just like...
Yeah, me too. I'm just like looking at it, like, give me an answer.
Tell me what I am. Oh, maybe I am an artist after all. I'm so troubled I don't know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is actually good to call yourself an artist too, because I also think that when there are like, and also maybe for me with YouTube, when there are these labels and there are these negative connotations with them, it's better to just own the label, and then people can see that there are different types of artists, there are different types of YouTubers.
That's true.
Because
Absolutely.
if we don't call ourselves that because we're scared of the negative connotations, then how are the connotations going to change?
Yeah.
You know? So I guess people just should start just owning it, and then hopefully people will see that there are a lot of different types of artists out there, because there's so many different types of people.
But since we talked about like the thing that you have to reach a certain point of fame through both our labels, really, to be seen as a professional YouTuber, you have to be like, oh, I have so many million followers.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you have to make a certain amount of money or just be known for your style. Do you like? I want to do a separate episode on this, but like, do you want to become famous? Is fame something you're like going towards?
No, I don't want to become famous, but I want to have more followers. Yeah, it's tricky because I really feel like you need to be at, like you're saying, a certain level of known, not necessarily famous. I don't know, it's tricky, but it's like, yeah, maybe a certain level of famous to make it in that world. I think maybe if you're at like 100,000 or maybe 200,000, then you can live like normally-ish from that.
Then how do you stop yourself from growing even more?
I don't know, make worse videos.
You just do bad work.
You just start making really boring videos.
That is what scares me a little bit, because I'm scared of fame. I'm kind of like, being famous seems like the worst thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists that I love and follow have chosen to be less, like they are very private. They very rarely show their face. They very rarely show like their personal life, because they've needed to split those two things, their art and their person. And since I've already shared so much about myself, and I kind of love
being personal,
and like meeting people are a very big part of my job. So I can't censor myself. I can't hide in the same way.
Yeah, because you're here.
I'm here. Yeah. I'm in the shop. So people meet me when they buy my art.
It's true.
And that thought of being quote unquote famous and have my face out there seems terrifying.
What is terrifying about it though?
Not being able to walk around and be myself.
Yeah.
Because like actually last weekend, me and my boyfriend, we went out in the sun eating ice cream, and then we went to like this little kiosk and bought ice cream, and on my way out a girl stopped me and was like, I just have to say I love your art. I follow you for ages, I love your art. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. Oh. And my partner was like, oh, that's the first time I've been a witness to this. But it happens like occasionally that people stop me and he's like, oh, you're AKB Illustrations. I know you. And it's so sweet. But the thought that I'm at 12,000 followers and it happens occasionally, thought of being at like over 100,000 or God forbid, like millions.
Yeah, I get that.
How you can't walk around being like I am in a bad mood sometimes. I have horrible days sometimes. Like some days I don't want to talk to anyone, and the thought of then not being able to just walk around as a nobody, like nobody, but like just being myself.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh,
I think that's terrifying too. But I also feel like maybe it takes more time than you think
to reach that level. Absolutely.
Yeah. But of course, if something would just get out of hand and something would go viral and you would suddenly be at like 1 million overnight, I think that would have been super terrifying. Yeah. For sure. And it's funny because you kind of want to go viral, at least with videos.
That's the thing. It is that kind of like in
between. But you don't really want to.
That's sometimes I'm like, oh. Yeah. Oh, it would be so exciting if something like big happened. Like suddenly something like one of my reels would just like explode. Yeah. And so it is that like double-edged sword that you're kind of like, ooh, it would be fun though. Yeah. But also no. Also no.
Yeah. But also please no. Yeah. I think though that even though that would happen, it would still be people all over the world, and there's so many people in the world. Yeah. So I even think that maybe, especially since it's not in Norwegian, I sometimes feel like for me that's a safe thing. That I have it in English, and I also don't really talk so much about the name of the town where I'm living, the specific name of the area and stuff. I don't really share that often. It's not like it's a secret, but it's also just I'm not trying to target people in my town because I want to just be a bit more anonymous there. And I just think that maybe there will be people in the world that know you in a sense, like many people in the world, but maybe there won't be that many here.
It's always so nice to meet people too. It's never been like a bad experience to meet up with people.
Yeah. It's just scary when they're talking to you and you're like, oh shit, you know me somehow and I don't really know you. And that's always strange.
Because it happened that people are nervous when they meet me, and I get kind of, it's so weird to say that about myself, but kind of starstruck in a way. Yeah. Or it feels like that kind of like and I'm just like, they're like, it's me. I'm just a potato. Yeah. Why are you? You don't exactly. Need. I don't need that. Like
I'm just normal.
I'm just awkward and normal and weird. Yeah. So it feels like it's not deserved in a way. That kind of like
That feeling, I get that. Yeah, it's strange.
But it's so like everybody's so sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that though, to have that every day. So I really get what you mean, that you meet people all the time, everywhere, and you can never walk around somewhere without being recognized and stuff. That sounds horrible. That sounds really horrible.
Yeah, I mean, celebrities really...
But I think you can
understand.
I just have this, maybe this naive, but I have this belief that you can control that in a sense, and that it takes a while before it gets to that point.
Yeah, we are slow climbers too.
Yeah, well, and also I think you really have to get to a big level of fame before that becomes a real issue. But I think it's really scary when people... I think it's scary to go viral. I feel like I've just had that with the one video from my home where I had this tour of my home. That was one video that started to really spike. And I really didn't bother so much about that. That was actually fine. It was, first of all, like people all over the world, so I didn't feel like it was in my area, so it didn't really affect my life. And also it was just such a not super personal thing for me.
Just your home in a
just
way,
showing people around, showing the interior design. But the video that Jonna shared, that Jonna Jinton shared on her channel, kind of also spiked, but in a very different way because it came from another person's platform. And I felt a bit more scared about that because I was almost like, I don't even know where this is gonna go. It just felt very different since I didn't really it wasn't like my doing that it was going viral in a way.
Yeah.
It wasn't viral though. It's not viral. I don't even
but
know.
it was.
Well, how many?
It was a spike.
It
Right?
was a spike,
yeah.
but it's like, and I think that was super cool. It was so fun that she shared my video, and it was like major thing for me. Definitely a major thing for me. So cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was also very strange feeling. Yeah. It was a strange feeling to see that just happen from somewhere else. Yeah. And suddenly feeling almost like I didn't have the control over it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's out of your control.
It was really out of my control. So it was a bit strange too. Like I kind of got the taste of like, okay, that might be how it feels. I guess people should just be prepared for it. But how do you prepare for something like that though?
I mean, we definitely, if one of us suddenly has a viral moment, we have to do an episode about it.
We can talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
How it will, like, how it feels.
Yeah, I guess we can support each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. Let's not become famous, Anna.
No.
So we're ending the podcast, I guess, on that note. Let's not become famous.
No.
It's not good for anything.
It's telling people, don't watch this because we don't want the attention.
We don't want attention. We want attention, but we don't want attention.
Yes.
It's very complicated. We're so complicated.
Oh my gosh.
And after all, we're just normal people.
We're just normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And own your labels.
Yes, own them.
And we would really be excited to know what labels you guys have. And also, how do you feel about your label? Have you struggled with it? Have you had problems with finding a label for yourself?
Yeah.
If you have anything like that, then please write it down in the comments
it's
under
so
our YouTube video or DM us on Instagram.
Because I love talking about creative labels. I
think
it's so interesting.
It's really, really fun. And I mean, if you disagree with something we said as well, then please let us know. Yeah. We would be really happy to discuss this with you guys. Yes. So until next time, we will see you. And bye-bye.
Bye.